Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Macon Campbell and this is Macon Stuff. Okay, so we're back in the workshop for a change, and today we're going to be working on bike storage. Now, the last time I worked on bike storage was when I built the bike hangers for the garage a while back. But the bike storage I'm going to be working on today is for the purposes of transport. So before I had my pickup truck, the only option I had for bike storage was a hitch-mounted bike hanger. Now, I'm not a very big fan of that type of bike rack because the bikes hang very close to each other and rub up against each other. They tend to pick up a whole lot of damage if you don't take a lot of time and care when loading them. Now, since I got my pickup truck, it's been a whole lot easier. I can just hang the bikes over the tailgate. I don't have a tailgate pad just yet, but at the moment I'm just using a yoga mat and it seems to be working just fine. But we're going on a camping trip next weekend and I would really like to take my bike with. And now, as we're going to be camping, the bed of the pickup truck is going to be filled with camping stuff, and there's a good chance that we might be taking a trailer along with us, which means that I won't even be able to use the hitch mounted bike hanger because the trailer will be taking up that spot. Now, I've been wanting to build a roof mounted bike rack for quite some time, but I just never seem to get around to it. So that is what I'm going to try and build today. Now, the idea is to build 3 of them. I'm probably just going to start with 1 just to make sure that the concept works. It is going to be a freestanding rack which I can hopefully mount to the top of our trailer or to the top of a roof rack or to the top of the rails on the back of the pickup. Now, the reason I hadn't built one of these yet is because I couldn't come up with a really nice design that I thought would work well. Now, last week I happened to be watching one of Brian Kennedy's latest videos and I happened to see this. And upon closer inspection, I realized it was a 1UP USA bike rack. So I went to the website and I found a much nicer image, and this seems to be a really nice design. Now, I'm going to be basing my design loosely on this. It's not going to be as fancy, obviously, but in principle and concept, it should be similar. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here we have the concept, and thankfully it seems to be working, and that is definitely a relief. So in concept it works pretty much exactly the same as the one-up bike rack. The only points of contact on the bike are on the tires themselves. There's no contact on the frame or any part of the bike whatsoever. So that means there's no chance of damaging your bike while you're transporting it. Now my initial idea was to just have these arms be loose and then use something like this strap or tie down to bring these together. Obviously I would have welded some kind of loop on here where I could hook these S-hooks into. But after trying to load this bicycle up here myself, I realized that this is really a two-person job, as it is too difficult to hold the bike and to position these arms in place to get this thing mounted up here. I really want to be able to load the bikes on here myself. Now I almost had no sleep last night because I was tossing and turning, thinking about how I was going to solve this problem. So before I explain to you my ingenious idea, let me give you a brief description of how the actual one-up stand works. So if you look nicely at the pictures, you'll see that along the edge over here there is a ratchet system which connects to the arm over here. So as you close it, the ratchet system will keep this arm from falling down. So that makes loading the bike a whole lot easier. You just lift this up, click, 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 into position so that you can load the bike with the wheel inside this arm, and then all you need to do is lift up the other one and close it as tight as possible, and the ratchet in the middle will keep the bike in place. So there is no need for tie downs like this, and loading and unloading the bike is a whole lot easier. So the genius idea I came up with while I was trying to sleep last night is this. This, according to the description on the shelf, is a turnbuckle with a hook and an eye, but basically it's a tensioner of sorts. So the idea I've come up with is to use an eye bolt and mount this in here somewhere, and mount this turnbuckle somewhere to the arm over here. Once I lift the arm up, I can easily hook it in place here, which keeps this arm in position, and then I can do the exact same on the other side, hook the turnbuckle into the eye bolt, and all I need to do then is tighten the turnbuckle to lock the bike in place. So now that we're sure the concept works, let's go ahead and figure out how I'm going to mount these, and once I've given it its final test, then we can start finishing these babies up. Okay, there we go guys, the concept is done. I added all of these things off camera because basically all I did was drill a couple of holes. Once everything is finished, I'll probably make a couple of Velcro straps that can hold these in place. And over here, as you can see, this is a bit of an oversight. I should have made these either a little bit shorter or made the whole thing a little bit longer so that these could fold flat. But that doesn't really matter now because it doesn't fold flat anyway because the eye bolt is here in the way. But I'll figure out some kind of way to rig this stuff so that everything is nice and tight when it's not in use. That is the least of my problems right now. Right now, all I want to see is whether this is going to work. So as you can see, if you pick this arm up like this, it hooks in here nicely. At the moment it is open as far as it can go. Let's open up the next one. So basically now it's ready to load the bike. I don't need any hands. I can hopefully just stick it in here. So this is the moment of truth. Let's give it a try. Oh, there we go, perfect. Even though it's not tied down now, because these arms are held in place, I can put the bike in and I can leave it freestanding, and all I need to do now is start tightening the turnbuckles. Do them both at the same time. And there we go. That, my friends, is going nowhere. I've only got it clamped to the table at the moment, but this seems very sturdy. I seriously can't tell you how happy I am that this concept works this well. But I guess it's no surprise, it is based on a design that is already proven to work well. Okay, I guess the only thing left to do now is to get everything cleaned up and get everything sprayed and assembled. So I'm going to do all of that off camera because I don't want to waste too much of your time. So I'll check back once everything is sprayed and reassembled, and then we can start thinking about mounting options for these bike racks. So let me get cracking. Okay guys, it's done, and I think it turned out really well. You know, it's so funny, every time I attempt something ambitious like this, I'm always kind of shocked and surprised when it turns out well. I mean, this was the idea from the beginning, but halfway through every project I kind of start doubting myself and the decisions that I've made. So when I finally finish and I end up with a product that's as good as this, I'm always pleasantly surprised. So I didn't shoot any footage yesterday because it was all mundane grinding and painting and so on. The only things that I did add, of course, were these mounting brackets. I also cut a couple of blocks of pine slightly bigger than the hole in the ends of these, and I knocked them in there with a hammer because I couldn't find any plugs that were the right size. And for the rest, it was just grinding, cleaning up welds. I rounded over the corners of these arms. Oh, I almost forgot, I did go ahead and I shortened these arms. According to my calculations, that shouldn't give me any problems with loading and clamping the bikes, but at least this way it is a bit of a smaller profile. I haven't come up with a decent way of rigging this while it's not in use, but for the meantime I've just taken a piece of foam and pulled it together with a cable tie. For now I think that's going to be fine. We are leaving for our camp maybe even this afternoon, but most probably tomorrow morning. So it's been kind of a rush to get this done. Now all that's left is to mount them and see if everything works. Okay, there we go guys. Finally it's done. It's been a long day. It's 8 p.m. right now. Everything seemed to take me a whole lot longer than I hoped it would. I had a couple of issues while mounting the racks, but I'm not going to waste your time with that. In the end, everything worked out perfectly. We just finished loading up all our camping stuff and we're ready to go first thing tomorrow morning. Which means I've got from now till then to finish editing this video and get it uploaded. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or suggestions or questions about the project, go ahead and drop them down below. If you know of anyone else who's looking for a solution to storing their bikes for transport, go ahead and share this with them. And as always, till next time, keep making stuff.